For over 1,000 years, the smartest people alive were obsessed with one impossible dream: to turn a cheap, dull lump of lead into pure, shining gold. They were called alchemists. They mixed potions, chanted spells, and burned their whole lives chasing it. Every single one of them failed, and they died believing it could never be done. But here's the twist they could never have known. They weren't wrong. They were just a few hundred years too early, because today we can actually do it. Let me show you how. First, you have to understand why they failed. The alchemists thought gold and lead were just different mixtures of the same basic stuff. Heat it, mix it, purify it, and lead would slowly become gold. But they were missing the one secret that changes everything. What makes gold, and lead, is hidden deep inside every atom. In the very center of an atom is a tiny core called the nucleus, and packed inside it are particles called protons. That number of protons is like a name tag. It decides what the element actually is, nothing else. Lead has 82 protons, gold has 79. That's the entire difference. 3 little protons. The alchemists spent lifetimes mixing chemicals on the outside of the atom, when the real secret was buried in a place they didn't even know existed. So to turn lead into gold, the task is simple to say and almost impossible to do. You just have to remove 3 protons from the heart of an atom. So how do you reach into the center of an atom and pull pieces out? You can't use fire. You can't use acid. The nucleus is locked away, held together by the strongest force in nature. To break into it, you need unimaginable violence. You need to hit it with something moving so fast it can shatter the core itself. And that brings us to step 1, a particle accelerator. The same kind of giant machine scientists use to study the universe. Inside, you take tiny particles and blast them to nearly the speed of light. Then you aim them directly at the lead. Step 2. The impact. When a particle slams into the nucleus of a lead atom at that speed, it's like a wrecking ball hitting a brick wall. Pieces fly off. Protons get knocked clean out of the center, and if everything lines up just right, that lead atom, with its 82 protons, loses exactly 3, leaving 79 behind. And in that instant, it is no longer lead. It has become gold, the impossible dream finally real. So the alchemists were right all along. It can be done. They just needed a machine that wouldn't be invented for another 500 years. But before you get excited, here comes the cruel joke of the whole story. Making gold this way is possible, but it is wildly, absurdly expensive. The machines cost billions to build and run, and in return, you might create a few atoms of gold. Atoms so few you would need a microscope just to dream of seeing them. To make even a tiny speck of gold this way would cost you more money than that gold could ever be worth. Thousands of times more. So nobody actually does it to get rich. The dream that drove 1,000 years of alchemy turned out to be real and completely pointless at the same time. And yet there is something beautiful hidden in here. Because the universe has been doing this exact trick for billions of years, totally for free. Every atom of gold in your ring, in your phone, in the entire planet was made this way, not in a lab, but inside dying stars. When a giant star explodes or 2 dead stars collide, the violence is so extreme that lighter elements are crushed and smashed into heavier ones, including gold. Then that gold is flung across space and slowly, over billions of years, gathers into new planets, like ours. So the gold you own isn't really from the Earth, it's from the sky, from a star that died long before the sun was even born. You are wearing a piece of an ancient explosion. The alchemists wanted to make gold to become rich, but the real treasure was the truth they were chasing, that everything can change into everything else. that a dull rock and a king's crown are made of the very same stuff, just arranged a little differently. They weren't fools. They were the first people to ask a question so big it took the whole world 1,000 years to answer. If that gave you chills, subscribe. Because next we're going to take the most boring thing on the beach, a handful of sand, and turn it into glass that can actually see.